Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raja Mujtaba with his program Raja Mujtaba Show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Pakistan in the grip of terrorism. To be in this grip is not easy. It's very hurting and painful. We have been in this scenario for a long time now. More so after 9/11, it has become very, very severe, critical, and very harmful and hurtful to the people. Besides the lives that we are losing, the survivors are becoming psychos, they are losing their mental balance, and they need to be rehabilitated, and they are in a state of shock and things like that. Women, children, old, sick, none are being spared. And this is all part of international politics, and international politics is much dirtier than one can imagine. It has no scruples and is absolutely shameless and ruthless to the core. Up front, all are allies, friends or seeking to be friends, but they are the enemies in hiding who are not allowing any breathing space to Pakistan. Sometimes they dictate and our leadership crumbles. For their dictations or their pressures on Pakistan, I need not blame them because they have no scruples and they are shameless and ruthless. But I certainly hold the Pakistan leadership responsible for all what is happening. There is not even an iota of doubt that the entire leadership is showing its irresponsibility, no concern whatsoever. It's merely lip service and lip mongering, that's about all. They are either sincere, they are neither sincere to the state or they do not know this business of statecraft. In both these cases, it's a doomsday scenario for Pakistan. Not only that, the leadership is corrupt, but they have also all their ill-gotten wealth invested abroad, so to say, in safe havens. If for some reasons these people holding the offices try to resist the pressure, then they are shown the cards to freeze their assets and declare them as criminals. There are many cases of this nature from the third world whose assets have been taken over, and in some cases even criminal cases were also instituted against them. This should be a lesson for our leadership that nothing will come to this by the politicians. It needs some serious brainstorming to work out its short-term and long-term objectives. Failing which, they will have no direction, they'll have no headway to make, and they will end up in a bigger chaos. But the irony is this: our politicians, our leadership, they cannot even devise simple short-term policies in which there is no fire coming from the opposite side. But coming to the question of tackling with terrorism, there's fire, there are explosions, there are lives being hurt and taken out. So it means serious business. Why they cannot face it is for simple reason that they have amassed enough of wealth which they want to enjoy. They are not willing to sacrifice their lives, come what may, but they are all determined to enjoy the wealth that they have accumulated. This is something which is worrisome. It bothers the people, it bothers the nation, it bothers everyone. Now, coming back, I would like to ask Mr. Mia Nawaz Sharif, why did he buckle and put off hangings of the convicts in the jails? Simply he got a threat from the TTP that if their convicts are hanged, Mr. Nawaz Sharif will not be spared. So he put on hold all the hangings, and not a single convict has been hanged in the past 7 or 8 years now. This was also the policy of the previous government. So unless the culprits, the criminals are punished, people do not take the lessons. So the punishments have got to be carried out sooner or later. So now they are, in these 4 attacks, they have taken out over 60 lives and hurt many more. So this needs some serious thinking, some serious actions, and just holding peace talks with the TTP will not suffice. Who are TTP? They are non-state actors. They have no legal entity. They have no identity as such. So whom are they going to talk to? They are all factions. Sometimes they unite for their benefits or for their interests, and at times they splinter out and operate independently. There's nothing to hold them. There's nothing to bind them. So I would like to ask my government, who are they going to talk to, and what are the agreements going to be signed, and with whom? And who will ensure that those agreements would be implemented? I see none of those things coming up, from where to take the start and things like that, and the government is completely, utterly confused. They should take a lesson from Sri Lanka. They fought this war for over 28 years. They had the determination, they had the will. Ultimately, they succeeded, and now Sri Lanka is absolutely at peace. The people are enjoying their peaceful life. In this case, the problem again is that most of the governments that form in Pakistan, they come up on the crutches of the foreign powers. They seek their help, they seek their aid to come to power. And when they come to power with their aid, they have no guts to show eyes to them or look into their eyes, because they are again shown their place, that where they stand, and they are always worried to lose their seat. So they have never shown that sort of guts to the enemy or to the foreign powers who are trying to play games with Pakistan. And if they do at times, their ill-gotten wealth, which is abroad by the billions, makes their tail painful, and then they are again made to scum, and they have no place to go. But we all know it's beyond them, that their personal interests are the more important interests. They have never shown any interest in the national interest, because they would like to relegate the national interest and elevate their personal interest. They hold billions outside of Pakistan and the countries where this wealth is held now. And the countries where this wealth is held, they know it pretty well. That's all ill-gotten through corruption, through other means. In some cases, it is even money laundering, and that money is abroad in those banks which are directly in the control of the powers who are playing games with Pakistan. So it's not only the leadership that should be blamed. I would also hold the people of Pakistan responsible for electing such people, if they do elect, who are known to be corrupt, who are known to have their interest abroad, who are known to have never stood by the people in times of need, in times of hardships. So why should they accept them? The entire Pakistan political scenario is working as a cult. So it's the cult culture, and it's not the political culture which is affecting Pakistan. There is no political culture at the moment at all. So this cult culture needs to be replaced. Sooner the better. If they do not, then they are likely to inflict more damages to Pakistan, either by through an act of omission or commission. In both the cases, this is going to be a serious game which Pakistanis can ill afford. So, coming back to the talks that they want to hold. How can they hold the talks with faceless people? But the only thing that they probably can do is announce a general amnesty to the all and give them some attractive terms and conditions which the people are willing to accept and they surrender their arms. Give them a reasonable time to surrender and honor all the conditions of surrender that you put forward so that they build trust and the rate of people coming towards the government increases so that more and more people come to the peaceful life. Rehabilitate those both economically and socially. There may be some cases who need medical treatment, psycho treatment. They need to be decompressed for all this thing that they have gone and their minds have been packed with such things that they will go to heavens if they kill people. So all these things have to be taken out of their minds, and this all needs some psychotherapy, it needs some spiritual therapy, and without these therapies, it is very difficult to rehabilitate them. And those who come out, they must be kept under some sort of surveillance, monitoring, to observe their activities, that they do not return back to the same fold again. And once the time period is over, those who do not surrender must be rounded up and must be taken out physically by military actions, either by ground or by air. So this is something that we have to know, this is something that we have to work upon, and this is something that is the need of the time. Just making statements that we are holding peace talks with Taliban, with TTP, means nothing. There are no such bodies, there are no such things with whom they can hold their talks. So Mian Nawaz Sharif, you will have to look forward something more credible, where the people can be more dependent on you. You have not shown any credibility of that sort till now. You will have to make some aggressive moves to get the Taliban out and bring them to peace talk or something like that, and offer them their amnesty and offer them the help to rehabilitate them. Create conditions conducive enough for them, for the areas where they belong to, that they are more acceptable back into the normal space of life. So if this thing does not happen, this war will continue, rather it will spiral, and more killings will take place. If we just take into account the number of killings over the years, the civilian deaths are well beyond 60,000 in Pakistan. The deaths in uniform are well above 10,000 now. And this is the highest rate or the highest number of casualties that any country has suffered through terrorism. America claims to be our friend. Okay, we take it to be friend, but all the activities that are coming into Pakistan are coming through Afghanistan, where America is based, where NATO forces are based, where even India has a large presence. The explosives are coming in by the tons. The weapons are coming in by the tons. Who is supplying them? Certainly none other except for those who are in Afghanistan. Dollars they get by container loads. How they distribute them is their business. So they have enough money to buy anybody off, and they do that, and that is causing more problems. Why should the Pakistan government not hold talks on that level with the US government, with the Indian government, and make them feel responsible that all these sufferings that we are having is because of them? And not forgetting Hamid Karzai, who at times comes out with bursts and challenges Pakistan for what is happening in Afghanistan, without realizing that it is Pakistan which is suffering because of the supply routes coming from Afghanistan. Maintenance of law and order in the country is the responsibility of the federal government and the provincial governments. Federal governments have enough of agencies to maintain law and order. They have the Intelligence Bureau, they have FIA, they have the Frontier Constabulary, and they have other such agencies that are required to maintain law and order. After the federal government, it is the responsibility of the provinces. Provinces also have a complete network of law and order maintenance system. Why don't these outfits perform? Why are they not checked? And why their failure is not reported or questioned? This is a serious note which must be taken into consideration. The basic role of army is not to maintain law and order but defend the frontiers of the country. Army only comes when the federal and the provincial governments have failed or exhausted their capacities. Why this perception is not being corrected by the Ministry of Information and the media at large needs to be questioned. This anomaly in the minds of the public must be corrected as quickly as possible. It is an omission or commission to cover the failures of the civil governments by the way of passing on the buck to the army and then sit relaxed in their chairs. Now the public has come to its nose. They are fed up with this bloodbath of every day. They want peace, safety and security for healthy growth of their society. Increasingly people are talking that the army should take over. Well, army taking over, there are many questions to that. Should or should not. The constitution comes into question. So my only question is that is it at this important point to consider that if it's a clause in the constitution more important or the preservation of the solidarity of the state more important. This is left to the opinion of the people. They can decide which is more important, the safety and the security of the state or that one clause in the constitution which holds the forces to act. All these things are worth analyzing. They must be analyzed in proper light and look at the events that are taking place from Karachi to Torkham, Quetta. Every city is being affected and affected very badly. This is absolutely something that needs forthwith action without any further delay. Some people who say that what army is doing is killing its own people. Some people say that the Air Force that has mounted an attack on North Waziristan is killing its own people. Well, my only question to such people is that when TTP kills in the settled area, when they kill the innocent people, who are they killing then? Aren't the TTP backed and funded and financed by the foreign agencies? If they are, then who are they working for? Certainly they are working for the foreign agencies and not for Pakistan. Neither they are spreading Islam nor are they doing any service to Islam. It is, on the contrary, it is a complete disservice to Islam. They are defaming Pakistan, they are defaming Islam, and they are defaming the entire situation in the country. Pakistan has been and will be a peaceful country, but it needs some proper leadership to guide it through, which is lacking at the moment. What was happening in Karachi? There were target killings every day, going by dozens or 2 dozen casualties a day. What is happening in Peshawar, in the entire KPK, is no less. They come, they bomb, they go back. So this is something which the government has to take over immediately, or else the people are losing their strength, they're losing their stamina, they're losing their patience, and the reactions can be anything. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I leave this my thing for you to opine what is best suited to Pakistan. Is it the talks with the TTP, which is a faceless organization, a non-legal entity, or is it the general amnesty given to all, so let the individuals trickle in and surrender their arms? something very important, something very crucial which has to be done. Thank you very much. Have a nice day wherever you are. See you until next.